Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. My name is Wheeler. Welcome to Wheeler's Minis, where I paint minis and you chill. That's the name of this stream, Mini Paint Chill. Before I get started, though, a few quick things to get out of the way. One, if you aren't already following the channel, please do. If you have the financial ability to, consider subscribing or purchasing something on my website. Um, Either or, I really appreciate it. Follow me on my socials at Wheeler's Minis on pretty much everything. If you're watching this on YouTube, hi YouTube. Um, Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to come watch me paint. I really appreciate it. Today we're going to be working on this brass dragon, so it's going to be a lot of dry brushing. But I have some other stuff that I can work on as well. That's part of this month's minis that I got. Yeah, other than that, I think that's it. Not much. Back after a little hiatus. I've had a lot to do. It's out of town, so I'll be painting today. But yeah, I think that's it. So to get started, I've got a couple different brasses. I only have two. I've got a true brass and a Victorian brass. I don't think I have anything else in the realm of brass. I got a lot of like coppers and things. But what we're gonna do first is dry brush this fella. I primed him with the Zenithal Prime with some colors I think would go pretty well for what he's gonna be painted like. Yeah, looks pretty cool. Sculpts by Rescale, and when he's done, he'll be up on the website. We're gonna start with this Victorian brass, which is a bit of a darker brass. Give us a good base coat. I had to look up last night what the best recommendations for painting brass were, because it's not normal color. We're bringing out the big boy. Again, I got some other stuff I can paint as well if we're waiting for things to dry, such. Really not too worried about specifics right now. We're just going to get a good base coat of this brass on here. If you see some lines on it, it's because I had to epoxy the pieces together, and I am still not perfect at that. I'm working on it pretty consistently. You'll see though what I mean when I get to some of those pieces. And when I paint the silver dragon. I also printed out that because I'm not a member of my Discord, though. One person who I thought was going to vote on it voted on it, and then a bunch of people voted on the one on Twitter. So this one ended up winning. That's why I'm painting this one. But I also printed out the silver because you can see kind of like right there, like it's not perfect. But I'm doing what I can to make sure that it looks as good as possible. Sure that if you choose to purchase this, you have a piece to be proud of. Like $100. Again, just kind of getting the color on there for now. Not too worried about the specifics. If it gets a little messy, that's okay, because again, this is gonna get like major wash when the time comes. But as you can see, doing the Zenithal Prime the way I did makes it so that it already has some of that kind of like base tone on there. And that way, if I miss anything that's passed through, it already has a good foundation for shadows and things like that. So we're doing Victorian brass first, then we're probably going to hit it with a strong shade. Over the whole thing. And back to the Victorian brass. But lighter than how I'm doing it now. And hit it up with true brass to finish it. Just a bit brighter. Really gonna hopefully help them pop. Sleep. So far, so good though. Actually, better than I was expecting. Generally want to go the same way with the brush strokes across the entire model. Sure that because it can be a bit wonky. Change the tone. Brush can't do. Luckily, all the pictures that I've seen of brass dragons have them just be brassy. Good. Pretty. Then I'm gonna probably add some patina on to really just give some texture. Be fun. I don't know if we'll finish him to probably finish. All comes. I'm gonna do it fully right now because point again. Now we grab a smaller round brush. All of it's getting hit. Oh, look, pretty bronze for most of the paint. Sorry, excuse me. Throwing a wash over the entirety of it, if I have the want to go more of it. I did. That's fine. We'll use which I think is the comparative for shape. Maybe not that. Who knows? Brass tends to be very brown toned. So we're coming over this with a strong shade. It's going to be a deep brown. Every piece of artwork that I've seen, I said, brass dragons. Yep, they're brass. They don't really have any extra bits or anything like that. Sans some patina, which recently I had to look it up because I wanted to double check to make sure. Brass does patina. In fact, it patinas a lot like bronze. The only difference is that I think brass patina is more clean. versus bronze patina, which I thought was really cool. Patina being just like the oxidization, kind of like rust. But for different materials. That's just what happens when brass or bronze age. Don't want is I don't want it to so heavy. Starts good. Doing is going over the places I've already hit, and if there's any place that has a bit too much, take that off. Put it place. There are obviously some places where I want it to pop up, but not in a way that it drastically changes model. Some of the deeper recesses, obviously I will have some of that dark color. Don't want it so insane that it starts to diminishes the look over. Spot two. So like here, that's too much. I want it to pool, but I don't want it to amass a space that's going to make it coffee stain. Definitely a bit much. Oh. But as you can see, it's already kind of giving it a look. I'm back over. Do again lighter dry brush to accentuate. Brass of it. The only thing I might do that's different from the artwork is add a little bit of pale brown on the chest scales. That way there's a delineation between the chest scales. Because that's pretty standard on most of the dragons that I've seen. This is technically per its model name. Most definitely to scale more of an adult dragon. Now, obviously, you can have smaller ancient dragons are playing at a table and you're using minis, I would beg to say that you probably want a model that, especially if you're saying, yeah, it's an ancient dragon, which is easy to fix. You can literally just take the model, scale it up a little bit. It'll just take a little bit longer. Cool. So something I tend to do, giant model scaled up to better fit. It's being at the doing here, like I said, is just the shade all over. Because luckily this guy probably that long. He'll focus a lot. He'll work. Now just kind of haphazardly putting on. And if I feel like he needs more somewhere or less somewhere, yeah, as you can see on the back here, it's pulled up in those areas like that, because that in and of itself is going to be a space where naturally shadows are going to show up. So I don't worry about that. It starts to get a little bit too crazy with the shade areas. That's when I start maneuvering the shade around. Work on his base, which I'm going for like a mesa look, which is their natural habitat. I know a lot of places have them in like deserts and things, which this can't. I'm gonna be using texture paste from Huge Miniatures. I love their textures as I've started getting more into basing and things like that. Having a good texture paste is their stuff is phenomenal. Get it for a pretty good price. So this is their Martian paste. Mixing it up, case itself. And so what I'm gonna do is this is gonna go down here. Now the Martian paste is really just a reddish hued dirt, which if you live US or where with places like Arizona, New Mexico, places like that, the terracotta tends to be kind of a reddish orange. That is why I'm choosing color specifically for this. I'm going to try and match it to the best of my ability. start to paint huge rock here, and add some, like interesting textures to it, because mesas there are striations in the rock from seismic activity, plates moving and such, and up, you can actually see there some of that motion. It's really, really cool. Geologist, what do you mean? It's actually one of the first ways that we figured out sands, besides carbon dating, how to age specific things based off of where they lie striae Earth, which is just absolutely bonkers and so cool to me. Geology is so intriguing to study. I studied archaeology. So texture on here, it's going to take a little bit to dry. It's not going to dry perfectly, and then just to really help hammer home the look of it, make sure that when it dries, I go back over it with dry brush, probably just a little bit of a lighter tone, because while it's going to have natural lighting when it comes to being on a table, you just want to make sure that they're look cooler in the long run. Try again and match it as best as possible. Rocks tend to be different. Graininess on there, I did it on the Blue Dragon. And what I'm using to put it on is basically just like sculpting tools that I got at a hobby store. You can use brushes, but it tends to go on better when it's got a solid piece. Clay sculpting tools will be just fine. It's just fine. All right, so that's gonna have to take some time to dry. So in the meantime, sure, I can't. Soak it. Looks like last time the problem with big dry brushes, sometimes they're very hard to clean. All right, so got a few things. I got Angelic Being over there, or these cool like wood sentinel. This or this cool little druid dude. Got just a bunch of little animals on it. But I think I'll go with this. I already did some work on them to really get a good bass tone. So I did burnt moss as the base for the. I've got a few hobby holders. I love the Red Grass Game ones. I've got a couple of those. And then this one's from Game Envy, which I also really like. They have handles that go on. Now, but honestly, it's really I have the finances to do it, so I'll make more videos. But if you're ever interested, feel free to watch the video so you have a better understanding. These are really cool because they have these which you can hand on, and they come in different sizes. So if larger model, at least have a handhold. The only thing I don't like about hobby holders is the fact that the models that I'm painting always lend them sticking. All right. So he's mostly got like leaves and things on him. What I might do is I printed out 4 of them. So I will probably paint one for each season. I'll do the one that's holding a flower as spring. We'll have the one with just the sword as summer. I guess we'll do this guy as fall, and then the one with the pike as winter. Just for funsies. Maybe I'll sell them as a pack. Brown. Not so bad when it's on the bottom of the table. That's going. Anyway, but if I see something, I'll end up just to be safe. And I want. Alright, so we'll start off with some oak brown, and we're probably gonna do that on most things, except for the little leaves. We're gonna do individually because I'm crazy. The two. Start with the 2. Yeah, and this is gonna go pretty much everywhere on him. If I'm painting over his kind of base color that I did, honestly fine. Because it's gonna, with the thinner coat, gonna shine through. Okay. Strong shade again. But if it peeks through, it's not the worst thing because it's green, so it's gonna. And then for the thing is, I'm going to be doing this with a team. The pike guardsman, his shield will be winterwood, or what trees look like winter, as well as his armor, just to kind of help really, really drive home the guarding grove of some sort. Specifically, winter court or this is the darkest in the ruddy brown. Yep, darkest in the ruddy browns. It goes this tree ancient, dryad. Then you start to get into the firs and things. I like this for a base. Maybe in the spring one too, I'll do like a bit of a lighter wood with some fresh green mixed in. Fresh tree. A little bit more of a differentiation. But seeing as he is a wood, we're just gonna paint his wooden as well. Could also be like a wood woad, just a special wood woad. Fake growth base of his helmet. When heavy end. Most of his work is going to come in Hills. I think is going to end. Because I might, for him, not necessarily that get darker per se, but I might make just to again kind of drive home the wood just a bit darker than the others. Bottom part and leaves are my best to make browns of don't match perfectly browns of that way there's some difference. Really wanted to do as well as specific wanted to do my first real attempt at on metallic metal, just using colors to give off the visual representation, actually colors. That's like something I've never done before and really want to give it a try. That's what we're gonna do. The issue is 100% certain. Do that a lot. Find when you're mid. No, I'm not gonna hit that with this color. Hopefully I am. Good, nice base coat on here. Places that we want it to be. Base coat the leaves. Base coat the reddish. Ready look. Even though this guy is going fall theme, it fits that theme. Still evergreens and things. That's metal. And this piece is like a really nice, vibrant green. Maybe with the glow effect. I don't know. Green. Oh. This piece I'm not 100% sure what to do with yet. Like piece of cloth. Looks like there's also cloth under. Maybe I'll make it that reddish part. So Ruddy browns kind of are that. Maybe I'll mix. Feels I'll take some red. Here. So we will go back over this. %, but I just want to get a good tone. I think a bit of the abundant red, which is a good base. Because this will be where we come back up from, having that nice like dark, having that nice kind of like almost scarlet. And time it right. Massive amount. Strong tone. Honestly, do the thing. Forever gonna Forest Dragon. Let's make it fall theme. Or someone recommended. Then I regretted it because I had to paint every single ever. No. Have I looked at it? That's the gotta go. You know what? Not worth the end.
Always had a way to make it work and find another
Okay. Okay. Trying now. And let's see. For one. Try a bit. it. Same color. So leaves and such. As you can delete. Don't know what color I'm gonna do yet on these. Maybe I'll keep them like this dark green. Summer plants tend to have. Really want to drive. Waiting for that to dry. Here he's cleared. Well, might just be a shorter stream. No biggie. This means more work for me on Thursday. Honestly, making so satisfying in the end. Probably just gonna get the log. Dirt. Depending on. Also using texture paint. Depending on what season it is, like I'll definitely use snow for winter, I think. Wood gets tinted. The sad part sometimes is like they do so much. These are by Crippled God Foundry. They do really cool bases. When I add so much stuff to them, but not working it. Print them out. Such. It's like based off of what to they do really good work with it too. Like there's small leaves and stuff on there. That's the other thing. I have small leaves somewhere. Basing, miniature basing. Got some because I want to do. The two that we've done so far. That one's going to be Deadwood. That one's going to be slightly wet wood. Case for that. Super excited about that. Lots to do. Ooh, this month is going to be painting probably on my. Good to get back. Good to get some work done. I really like what I've done so far with the stage shading. Like the ideas that I have for these guys. I was trying to figure out what I want so far. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today. Again, by the time that dries, the time's gonna be up, and I don't really have too much else I can work on right now. Need to get through the. I did pretty good painting the other wizards and stuff. Storm Sorceress. I got some stuff I gotta work. So, yeah. I think that's gonna do it for me today. And then when we're done with this, I'm probably gonna work on my friend's Scythe Mini, so that way we can just get a bit of a variation in what I'm painting. But yeah, thanks for hanging out for a little bit today. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this on YouTube again. Thank you so much for sticking around. I'll be back on Thursday to do this at 5 Mountain Time. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful great rest of your week. Guys on Thursday. All right, bye guys. See ya.